see a picture and go, stop.
I just need somebody to hold. I can't hold two. Gabe, where did you go?
He went upstairs for me, but tell him to come down. There he is. I'll give you a heads up. It's a picture of you kayaking. One of your kayaking pictures. You can talk about that. And what about world changers? What picture? You
Okay,
can't.
we're ready.
Whatever that big guy has.
We're live?
Tell him what you
Okay.
I didn't know what it was.
No, I think it was cement.
Okay, we want to welcome you to our share service. We look a little short on number tonight, but we had several that have joined us from out of town, and actually they're probably going to join us online as well. So, but they've sent some messages they want to share with you as well. And then a couple of them couldn't make it tonight, but we have these special ones with us tonight. So, and we're glad that you came. So, first of all, we went to Fuge Camp at Ridgecrest, and this is our group that went. You see up on screen, and you see how serious and professional we are. But really, the next slide is who we really are. So, as we get there, we got a technical issue, but we'll get there. There we go. That's who we really are. Of course, each day is, they break up into groups and they do recreation, which is some group building and team building activities, as well as Bible study. And so you're seeing some of their time here out on the rec field, doing some activities, and just us being us. And let's pause it right there. We missed it. We'll catch her back. Yeah, we'll catch back up. You got irises. Or do you have a better picture? One more. There we go. So this is Iris Gibson, who's getting ready to do the trust fall. It's where you're trusting your group to catch you as you fall off this little platform. It is a great illustration of trusting God along the way. Our juniors and seniors get to do this. It's our olders activity. They get a lot of the cool trust activities on this part. But Iris sent a message about her experience this year at Fuge, and so Ms. Patricia's going to read it.
Hi, Iris, if you're watching. Iris has done a few things with our group over the years, and I just love that she gets to come to camp with us. Iris said, "My favorite part of Fuge was the church group time. Our staffer was so kind, and it was a great time to reminisce what we had learned that day and to get real about stuff. God taught me," I'm going to pause real quick from what she said. The week's theme was in his image. And so what an important lesson for the kids to hear is that they are valuable, they are prized, they were made in the image of our God. And Iris talks about that. So back to Iris. "God taught me that I am made in his image and that nothing I do or say can change that. It changed how I speak to myself and gave me the ability to show myself or show more self-empathy. I was surprised by how comfortable I was sharing parts of my story with different staffers and kids that I don't know very well."
Okay. You can keep the slides going. And you all can stop us anytime you want. You're good. You're good.
We want one of those tables. Somebody could make that for us.
And this is another one of the trust activities. This is Jose, who graduated with us. And they get to climb the wall, and of course it's 12 feet tall, so you can't get it up on your own. You have to have help, and from below and from above, and then you become the one who helps others up, and that's a good spiritual illustration as well. It's why they do it. It's because we know that God helps us and people help us along our spiritual journey, and then it's our opportunity to share and be that person for somebody else. So everything that they do, whether it's a game, they are learning something about God through it, and or about how they can help one another along the way, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Gabe needs to tell us about this.
Yes. Tell us what's going on, Gabe.
So in that, we had these two boards where we had a whole group of people on those two platforms, and we had to put boards across. But the longer board was too short to reach the other platform. So we had to have one person stand on each side so that it wouldn't fall down while we were walking across it. And that just showed how we had to trust them so that we can get across, and that they would hold us up by using their own weight.
Very cool. Okay, Corley. And that's okay. Let's go. And this is the Nibble Nook, which they've redone and made it even better than it used to be for those who used to go a long time ago. They can accommodate a lot more people in there and get them through a lot faster, which is really good for the big weeks that we have. But this was Nemi. She's in the green. She could not make it tonight. It was her first year at camp, and she had a ball. But she also learned a lot, and she is one of our part-time kids that comes. So we're grateful any opportunity we have to encourage the kids. Okay, Corley. Okay, we can pause there. That's your group. You can tell us what that trophy is.
I think it is.
So each group has to show spirit while they're doing their activities. And Gabe and Madison were in a group together. And so the groups would earn different awards for their spirit and their working together. And they never knew during the day how well they were doing. So by the end of the morning, they would announce who gets what, and then they get these strange little awards and stuff. So they are very pumped and excited to get these little trophies, and one's a rubber frog, which they go really crazy about. But the attitude that you're working together and encouraging one another, because you always have kids in a group, people in a group that don't want to participate, and you're trying to get them to be encouraged. So it's a big group effort to get them to work together. So when they get those awards, it goes a long ways. Okay, Corley.
They're just really fast.
Trinity, is there any explanation for this one?
Oh, that was the phone.
Okay, okay, so, this is, the fireplace when we, like, go up the mountain and stuff. Never walk up it. That is a torture. You ran down it.
With the hiking trail.
Okay, keep going.
Well, you liked it. She did.
Anyways, so that's me and, Carly's just standing on the fireplace, and we were singing Girls on Fire, because why not? Just fits it perfectly.
So, yes, we're silly. Okay. Moving on.
Oh, my gosh, here. Do you want to talk about this, Gabe? Tried to drown poor Madison.
That wasn't me. That was you.
Madison needed to take some medicine, and she didn't have a water bottle, and that's my water bottle Gabe is holding. I said, you can use this, but don't put your lips on it. And so she couldn't figure out how to take it, and so Nemi was holding her hands, and Gabe was trying to pour it to her mouth. I just kept thinking, we're going to witness Madison choking. Yes, because she was laughing. It was quite funny. I had to get a picture of it. It was a lot of fun. Oh, there you are. Oh, it got small though. Oh, talk about your.
All right, so in this picture, this was my first time kayaking, and it was really fun. I went with this one girl. I can't remember her name, but it's really fun. I sat in the back, and I was terrified of going into the water, like flipping into the water. And right before this, Mr. Endo was with me, and so our director was like, "Okay, who wants to go kayaking?" And I volunteered since I'd never been, and it looked really fun. I had to take off my lanyard. I threw my lanyard to him, and so he's right here. There's this big old ditch. My lanyard, like when I threw it, the wind decides to take it over the ditch, but it lands on a branch. Like, the necklace part lands on a branch, and I was so grateful that day.
It's like a trick shot that she was incredible doing,
I
not
could-
on purpose, but
I could never do that again. Anyways, so yeah, that was my first time kayaking, and so the girl in front, she actually got onto her own kayak, and I decided to take over that kayak. It was very fun. Water was freezing cold, but it was very fun.
and you have to hike up halfway up the mountain to get to the lake, so you're tired by the time you get there.
A very
Okay.
relaxing trip.
Oh,
Can you make that one bigger? Do you have it on your phone? You're going to talk about that one, right?
okay. So this is our group at our nighttime church devotion, and the guy in front, you notice he's not part of our group. He's one of the staffers, and we're assigned a church group host, and this was his first year, and we like going the first week to encourage the new staffers. And so we're grateful when we get a brand new one because we help them out along their way and encourage them. And we developed a really good bond with him. He's a preacher's kid, and we had 2 preacher's kids with us. And Carly, which you're going to hear a little bit more about later, she's one that moved away to Colorado because her dad got a church in Colorado. So she was able to come back and be part of our group this year, as she's done many years before. But it's been a tough time on her to move away. And him being a preacher's kid, he moved several times during some very important periods in his life. And so they spent some time talking, and he was able to encourage her through the time. So it's neat to watch how God does things and puts people in our path at the right place at the right time. And he was a really good encouragement for us. So Gabe, what did you learn at camp this year? What kind of things? Mm-hmm.
I learned that we were all made in God's image, but that we're distorted by sin, so we don't all look the same. And because sin can change people and change how you look and how you feel about yourself. But you should always know that you're made in his image, so we are all the same in his eyes, and he loves us all equally.
And what did they use to help you understand that we distort the image that God created us to be? Do you remember that in your book? Mona Lisa. Yeah, go ahead and tell them about it.
I remember because in our book, it had a picture of the Mona Lisa, and then we drew all over it, making it not like the Mona Lisa anymore. Like some people put mustaches on theirs, did all kinds of stuff to it, and then it looked different and it was distorted.
Right, and the things we don't intend, we end up doing for fun ends up changing us or changing the image, and we don't realize how it's really going to affect us. And then that image is hard to get back, and we can't do it on our own. So our Bible study groups were probably the best we've had in a lot of years because everybody was getting so much more, even more out of Bible study than they were out of the sermons and the worship time. So they did a really good job, and their leaders were really good in helping to understand the image that we're created in. Anybody got anything else?
I wanted to say most of my talking about Fuge because World Changers just came at a really rough time, and I'd like to not ever really relive or think about that week. So, Fuge, you go as a sponsor. You never know what God's going to do because He is going to do something through you if you're willing. You're there for the kids, but God always speaks. He never fails to reveal to us things that we need to know, things that we need to work on. And typically, this song that I'm going to read the lyrics to would not be a song I would listen to on the radio. We have sung it in church before. It's a beautiful song. It's just not my style. I'm more of a pop, Toby Mac type thing. But this song, we sang it several times that week, maybe 3 or 4 times. And I cried every time because, since April, we knew what we were looking at with my sister. And I did not go to have the experience that God gave me. But I realized through being there and hearing the lyrics to this song that God wanted me to remember He is my firm foundation. So I'm just going to read the lyrics to you because it's really what God reminded me that week. Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. When everything around me is shaken, I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus because He's never let me down. He's faithful through generations, so why would He fail now? He won't. I've still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense. I won't be going under. I'm not held by my own strength because I've built my life on Jesus. He's never let me down. He's faithful through every season, so why would He fail now? He won't. And I especially love the little, I forgot what you call that thing. Rain came, wind blew, but my house was built on you. I'm safe with you. I'm going to make it through. I had no idea the first week of June what summer was going to look like, but God told me it was going to be okay.
One person who couldn't be here tonight is Rachel, our daughter, and God worked a lot in her life this summer. She was our extra chaperone, extra sponsor. She's been working with our teenagers all year long. She's been doing a lot of teaching, and she spent the gap year trying to figure out what God has in store. And through camp, she realized God was moving her on to something different. And now she's at Truett, and she's sent a few things that have stuck in her mind from both Fuge and World Changers, and then we'll transition into World Changers. Rachel says, one thing that stuck out to me this summer was the constant presence of suffering. At Fuge, we learned the beauty of being made in God's image, only to see how that image has been distorted and broken. At World Changers, we studied the book of Ruth. We saw Ruth and Naomi lose their family and security. Naomi lost faith that God would provide for them. At my church crew, at the church my crew visited, so on Sunday we would go to worship like the crews used to come to our church, and then they would feed them throughout the week. The sermon topic was about following Jesus even when it's hard and it brings humiliation and suffering. But through these struggles, we saw the goodness of God. Through Jesus, our image is being renewed. We are not held by sin or shame anymore. Jesus says we are saved, changed, being sanctified, and His forever, and He can't lie. God provided for Ruth and Naomi every step of the way, even when Naomi didn't trust God and took matters into her own hands. Through Boaz, we see a glimpse of God's kindness, provision, love, and redemption. Through this story, we see God's plan to redeem Gentiles through the redemption of Ruth, a Moabite. Following Jesus is never easy, but it is always worth it. By following him, we see his goodness, provision, and love. Say, I have nothing to offer, and watch him provide. When God brings you to a thin place, a place where he revealed himself to you in a mighty way, just don't look on and say, wow, that was cool. Place a stone, a reminder of what he taught you that day, a reminder of his provision, might, and love. This reminder will serve to encourage you and maybe even others in the future. So even as sponsors, we are taught a lot and learn a lot along the way. So Corley, want to get the pictures for World Changers? We went back to Huntington, West Virginia. We were there 2 years ago, and it was good to go back. We go back to some similar places when we find a really good location with good leadership, and that's worth going back for. So that's why we chose to go back again. And our journey starts off like most of our World Changer journeys have in the past. This crew has never experienced one of these beginnings to a World Changer trip before.
We should have just taken the bus.
Some of you already know where I'm going with this one. And we'll be getting the pictures here pretty quick. We're renting vehicles to go because our bus is not roadworthy, especially for a 9-hour trip through the mountains. And so we rent vehicles, and I was scheduled to pick up our van at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was not ready. It was,
That's huge.
it was still in the shop.
That's huge. That's not World Changers.
So at 8 o'clock, it wasn't ready, and they said it'll be there shortly. We have a person there on site to get it ready and bring it back to us. At 8:30, it was not ready. At 9 o'clock, it was not ready. At 10 o'clock, it was not ready. The van pulled in at 11 o'clock to the rental place. Here we go.
That's it.
So our kids were to meet here at the church at, I don't even remember what time. No, it was at 10.
Oh, no, it was a little bit later.
At 10. So they had a good hour of learning, not of waiting. So these first few pictures are of our kids waiting. They had everything ready for us because they told me it wouldn't be much longer, and so they got everything outside, all set up, ready to load. You can advance. So as it got longer, they started playing games and learning how to keep themselves occupied during the process, which we have had groups before that do this multi-times through many breakdowns on the road.
Big booty.
And on the, we finally got it at 11 o'clock, and we loaded up. Everything is loaded. We're ready to go. It is lunchtime, so we decided to get some lunch and fill up with gas. You can hold it there. I noticed a noise. The kids noticed the noise, and we realized the van is not roadworthy. So we made a few phone calls, and we were at Mavis Tire getting it rechecked out. And so we're now spending time at the tire shop getting it fixed and eating pizza. Okay, you can stop there. So God provided along the way because people along the way at both locations, at the rental and at Mavis Tire, realized what we were doing, how we're doing it, and they went above and beyond to take care of us, even though it took a while. So we realized at World Changers and at camp, we never complain, right? If there's a problem, we solve it. If it's something we can't solve, we make the best of it. So this group got to experience what a breakdown is like and how to make the best of it along the way, which also tells us it's going to be a great week. So we got there, and this is a place we found last time. It's a little hole in the wall restaurant that started as a food truck business and got so popular they made a restaurant along with their business. And we like going there because the food is really healthy for you and tastes really good. And that's how we finish starting out our week. Okay, you can flip through the slides. This is our total group, all of us together. And of course, we always find ways to entertain ourselves during free time. Here we go.
No, the other one.
The spoon slide, the one right before.
All right, so you want to explain this one? How get on the roof?
Shoot at the ceiling.
Okay, go quick.
Okay. Okay, so Gabe had like this stress ball, right? And so I asked him if I could see it, and I was just playing with it, and I decided to throw it up, not knowing that it would hit the ceiling. So it gets stuck on the ceiling. So Autumn had this beautiful idea to take the box of the game that we were playing. She took the box and she decided to try to throw it to hit the ball, even though the ball was almost about coming down. She throws it. She doesn't even hit the ball. She hits the back of the TV that's right above Gabe and Carly. I got it on video too.
Things the youth pastor does not know on trips.
Might be better.
Let's move on. Our kids are loved at everywhere we go, and they are known, but they are loved along the way.
Explain about what's there.
We'll get another picture of them. It's better. Keep going.
We love you, Carly.
This is Carly, and we are going bowling for our afternoon out. And I said, make sure you have your socks. And it went back and forth, back and forth. I said, well, Carly, just wear your socks on your ears. And so she did.
Oh, they got so small again.
Okay, so this is Gabe's and Jonathan's work site. They're replacing a window. It's kind of hard to see, but they are taking out a window, putting a new window. Hit the next one. Yeah, tiny house. Our girls all were put on the same crew, and they worked at the city mission. So they were one crew, which our girls were on, were painting on the inside, and Rachel's crew was painting on the outside. And so they got a unique experience. Yeah, let's do Carlos.
All right, so this is Carly in the picture, and this is what Carly had to say. What did God teach you? And this would be through World Changers. God showed me some new perspectives, like at World Changers, how me, Autumn, and Trinity worked at the homeless shelter. It was cool talking to the people there and seeing how some of them believed the word and seeing a few people reading the Bible. How has it changed you? It has shown me that how people appear can have nothing to do with how they act. Did anything surprise you about this year? Honestly, just being able to travel out there was, and she meant out here because they now live in Colorado, was awesome because we didn't know if we'd be able to come or not. I really enjoyed getting to see everyone face to face again. Fuge and World Changers were a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it.
And on that same note, you can advance. Okay, you can stop there. That's Rachel, her crew working on the outside. Autumn had to work tonight and could not get off, but hers is very similar to Carly's. What was your favorite part of World Changers? My favorite part was being on the work site with great people and seeing how much we were doing meant to the people who work and live at the shelter. It was a great experience, and I hope it showed the people there the love of God through us. And they've kind of developed, World Changers kind of developed a partnership with the mission. And on Wednesday at lunch, the mission actually provides the lunches for all the World Changers. So we come by, get to see the mission and pick up lunches and go back on our way. So it's a great opportunity because they want to be able to give back for those that are giving to them. And so it was a really great experience. Autumn says, the question was, what did God teach you? God taught me to be thankful for what and who I have in my life. Did anything surprise you about this year? I really didn't expect to be helping at the homeless or women's and family shelter. I thought I would just go to work on a house and build a deck or something like in the past. But everything about this year was different for me. I have never been on a painting crew. I hadn't experienced working on a double crew because there were two crews working together, or been around so many people on the site before. I had a lot of new and good experiences this year, and I will never forget, and I'm thankful for them. Okay, you can advance. There's that window again.
That was what?
Not a small window,
The big window.
Okay.
It was like, had 5 different windows because it had one, maybe it was more, because it had one big one in the middle and then 3 going down on each side. And we had to take it out because I think before the other World Changers, they didn't get to it before they had to leave. So then we did it, and it was pretty fun. I was working with my friend Blang, I think his name was. Yeah. And we worked together to take it out, and we had to cut off some of the wood around it, and we had to cut it out, and then we put the new one in, and it was just one window, one big window in the front. But yeah, it was nice. We had a nice homeowner, and my whole crew worked hard.
Y'all finished early, right?
Yeah, they finished early, and Jonathan was also on his crew. And Jonathan graduated, and he's now a freshman at some university in Alabama. And he sent this message. World Changers to me has been an amazing program that helped me develop my relationship with God while helping introduce others to God. So it changes us as much as it does others. Okay, Corley. And the next one, you can stop that. So you can see we went bowling for our afternoon activity. So we had to have socks to go bowling. We pulled up. We went there last time. We had a great time. And another big crew pulled up behind us, and they were going in bowling. And they had changed their hours that day, so they were not open. So we had to find something new. So they voted on mini golf. So we drove a long ways to find mini golf, and it was super hot, but we had a really good time, and we did not get kicked off the course for the way we played. Okay. Okay, stop there.
Okay, so
Talk loud.
okay, so from the mini golf thing, I can't. It was Madison, yes. I somehow remember that Madison. So in the mini golf that we were in, there's like these little puddles of water to get. Like, if you ever like do lose your ball, you can just get out of the puddle of water and stuff. And so Madison, it was this one court, and so Madison was trying to get the ball because the puddle's right here and the court is like that. And so Madison's trying to get the ball over to the other side. She kept hitting the ball, and it kept going in the puddle. You remember that? It was me, but
It
not
was
as many
me
times
too.
as Madison.
Or it was part, yeah, somebody.
Okay.
Yep. That was a fun course, though.
It was.
So the town is not too big, and one of the groups always likes to go to the same restaurant we do, and they always get their booking first. So we have to go to Kentucky to go to the restaurant, which is okay because we travel 3 states to go eat. We leave West Virginia, go through Ohio, and go to Kentucky. So we always get a picture at the sign at Kentucky. You can flip it one more. Whoop. Okay, you'll see the guy we're at the restaurant, which is Texas Roadhouse. You see the guy in the green. He is not part of our group. We do pick up stragglers and strangers along the way. He's actually the crew chief from some of our kids from 2 years ago, and ended up being also a crew chief for our kids this year. And he's one of those that loves World Changers so much. His church was not coming, and he wasn't going to miss it, so he came by himself. And so we kind of connected because our kids remembered him, and he remembered us. And so he would spend church time with us and free time with us, and we invited him to come along and be part of our group on our day off. World Changers is a family, just like church is a family. So, okay. You can, woo. There's Jonathan and Gabe. Look like they know what they're doing. Whoa, whoa.
Oh, I see it.
Man, that was cool.
Okay, so this is me and Carly, even though it's tiny. Okay, anyways, so in this picture, in the front of the homeless, not the homeless shelter, but the building next to it, is this little like eating place during lunchtime and stuff. And so while we were doing the drain, we needed to put new sandbags. I can't remember if they were sandbags or cement in front of the building. And so that's me handing one of the sandbags to Carly, and they were very heavy. But Carly was all confident that she got it. Next thing she, as she's holding up that sandbag, she thought her arms were finna rip off. But that's Carly. Yeah.
Next picture. Oh, this is Gabe's crew and Jonathan at their finished project. That's right. There we go. Okay, next picture. And Autumn painting on the inside. And Rachel again.
I like the blue better.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there
That's
you
a
go.
better
That's a
picture,
better
seeing her
picture.
carry stuff. Okay,
It was so heavy.
okay, yep.
All right, I'm not talking very long, but that is my crew that I served with. And the man on the far left of that picture is Mr. Isaiah. And he was late getting there because the California, it was I forgot what kind of church it is. But anyway, they had all kinds of trouble Chinese church. They had all kinds of trouble getting out of California. So we thought we had trouble. They were actually, he didn't get there until Monday morning. And so anyway, it was a very sweet crew, but Mr. Isaac swooped in and kind of put us all together after we'd been there for half a day helping another crew, and that's the deck we built.
Okay, this is my crew. We painted a fence, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but this thing was a monster. It took us all week to paint it, but we also replaced boards on the top, so we are not goofing off. The fence was warped, so that's the only way we could figure out how to warp the new board and get it to stick in place, is to take the three biggest guys and nail it, screw it in. So sometimes you find creative ways to get a project done, and it works. My crew, I was the only one of our church on it, but God put me on that crew because there were a lot of kids. The two guys here, the one sitting here, he works with their middle schoolers at his church, and it was a great opportunity for him and I to talk and him to ask questions, what it's like to do youth ministry and get encouragement. And the young boy who's doing the screwing of the board, he was our youngest kid on the crew, but he was our hardest worker. And it was a big encouragement for him along the way because I was always giving him the hard jobs to help him learn and also feel like he was making a difference. So, Corley.
Okay, about to talk about this. Yep.
I was just holding somebody up.
So why were you on that project?
This does not look like Gabe's first project with the windows.
Yeah, it's not. We had to finish our project early, so then we had to go help out some other people who were supposed to be just building the deck down below the roof. But while they were getting ready to do it, the top of it caved in. So then they had to repair the top of it and the bottom. So they were spending extra hours there every day. And so then we went and helped them, and we stayed pretty late for the last day.
They left at 6:30 that morning, and they got back in about 6:30 that night. So, yep, they worked hard. So, okay, Corley. Yep, that's our crew. So, that's the last picture.
Well, yeah, mine's gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's already gone.
Okay. Yep, that's it. So, we like to share a little bit of our experience, whether it's goofy or silly, but, God does do a lot of work in our teenagers, and we like to do things that help challenge them and encourage them in their faith while doing things. So we appreciate our church and your support for these kids. Even some kids who aren't ours, but who come and do some stuff with us, that we get to encourage them and help their faith as well. So we do thank you. We couldn't do the ministry we do without you all. So we appreciate you all very much. Anybody got any last things to say? Okay. Well, we will have a prayer for our time, our fellowship together, and then we'll let our deacons take over. And we'll, sorry for those who are watching online, we're going to cut the feed, and you don't get any boiled peanuts, but we will think about you all along the way. Let's pray. Heavenly Father God, we are grateful for who you are, and God, the journeys that you allow us to be a part of, and the families you allow us to be a part of. God, for this church, we are eternally grateful for being a part of a family that cares so much and invests so much in the lives of our teenagers. So God, we pray you continue to bless in a mighty way. And God, the people we've reached this summer and the lives we've touched, as well as ours, that we continue to grow in you and to bring you glory and praise. Bless our fellowship time together, and we are grateful for our deacons for providing this fellowship. In your son's name, amen.